Pump Fun's ICO is launching right as Bitcoin is reaching new all-time highs. And the question on everyone's mind is this. Is this a scam, a bubble, or the next crypto fortune to be had? If you're watching this, you're about to get the unfiltered story, the straight facts, and my own perspective and strategy for how I'm navigating one of the most controversial moments in the entire cycle. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's real, what's hype, and where the biggest opportunities and the biggest risks are hiding right now. I'll spell it all out for you guys. So without further ado, let's get started. So last time we covered Pump Fun. It was front and center after dropping a bomb on the market, $1 billion fundraise at a $4 billion valuation. I talked about how this was the project behind 11 million meme tokens and over 700 million in fees. And on paper, this looked like a retail success story with a slick mobile app, MetaMask integration, and nonstop headlines. But I also flagged some serious concerns I saw. And most of the platform's fees actually never found their way back into Solana's ecosystem. A lot of capital was being pulled out as stablecoins rather than being reinvested into Solana's ecosystem. And revenues dropped sharply, down more than 85% from their peak, even as Bitcoin kept hitting new all-time highs. And then, of course, key details around token economics, super important, community incentives, and profit redistribution were missing. The timing of the fundraise, right when metrics were trending down, felt like insiders were locking in exits, taking profits, while retail, all the, like they call them normies, it sounds awful to say that, but not professional investors and not insiders. So while retail, or like the 99%, were still enthusiastic and running in and purchasing like crazy, it seemed like insiders were taking profits on the side. So immediately after that announcement, Solana's price fell, and it sparked a big debate, as you can imagine. Questions like, was the fun over? Or was this just the start of something bigger were floating around? That was the picture then. But all good investors know that it's important to hold strong opinions loosely, to not hold them as truth. They know, or we know, you have to be able to adapt to new information. And now we have it. So how do we think fluidly, like a smart investor? Well, when new information drops, you have to be ready to pivot. That's exactly what happened with Pump. A lot of the things we were waiting on are now out in the open, and the whole setup looks a lot more interesting than it did before. I'll break down exactly what changed and why it could have a real shot at serious upside. But just remember, with plays like this, your entry price and keeping an eye on rising competition makes all the difference. It's like going to war. You advance, but you have to be watching to see if the enemy's coming, right? So it's not enemies, but it's like other opportunities. So it's like move forward, but keep looking to your peripheral to see what's happening and how you may have to adapt or move. But first, before we get into the fresh details on Pump Fun, I think it's extremely important to always talk about the general macro condition in the market and in the world, because what's going on in the broader market affects what's happening in our crypto niche. So here's what's going on. Spot Bitcoin ETFs have become a major magnet for money flows. Over 50 billion has been sucked into these funds since launch, with $7.1 billion just last week. BlackRock's IBIT and its ETF peers now hold more than 700,000 Bitcoin. There's exponentially more demand than the world's miners can produce. ETF spot volume just hit a new all-time high, at one point accounting for more than 30% of all trading. This is the real supply crunch happening in real time before our very eyes. Wall Street is making Bitcoin the new institutional staple as well, or so it seems. Even mainstream media is calling this a once-in-a-generation shift. But it doesn't stop there. The Trump's crypto team openly said they plan to buy as much Bitcoin as possible. We want as much Bitcoin as possible. The sky's the limit.
How much emphasis you guys put on technology versus the asset itself, the network, decentralized network? What is the White House stand on that?
Well, look, I mean, first and foremost, I'll say we love Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is finite. It's a commodity, not a security. It has intrinsic stored value. It has the immaculate conception, as David and I like to say. I mean, this is an unbelievable asset class that we wanted to harness on behalf of the American people, which we've done through the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. We'll look at those budget neutral ways of accumulation. We want as much Bitcoin as we can possibly get. I can't say that enough.
Where do you see Bitcoin all-time high going in the next 12 to 24 months?
Well, look, I'm not a financial advisor. I have to be very careful here, but I think the sky's the limit. I really do. I mean,
That's Bo Hines, the lead advisor for digital assets at the White House. And he's telling us exactly what they are planning next. With this type of demand, it doesn't look like Bitcoin will be done making new all-time highs anytime soon. K-Wave Media, a NASDAQ-listed company, just locked up $1 billion to scale a 10,000 Bitcoin treasury. There's even a BNB treasury play coming to the US public markets. So we see sovereigns, nations, corporations, funds, everyone literally fighting for as much Bitcoin exposure as possible. Now let's talk about where all this capital is going once it enters the system. When Bitcoin claims the spotlight, the natural next question is always, all right, so where's the next big move? This cycle, a lot of that energy is flowing straight into Solana. Solana's ETFs, like SSK, have absorbed over $74 million in just 5 days. Combined, the 3 major Solana ETFs have doubled their assets in a month. Even legacy Bitcoin miners like Bitmining are raising hundreds of millions of dollars to buy Solana and run validators. And on the infrastructure side of things, Bullish Exchange, a regulated venue with over 1.4 trillion in volume, just inked a deal with the Solana Foundation to put Solana native stablecoins at the heart of institutional payments and custody. Solana's culture is evolving at full speed from memes to major money, which frankly, I'm very, very happy to see because you know how I feel about meme coins. Although some of them can be profitable, but it's just like gambling, guys. That's how you need to see it. So what does this mean for new launches like Pump Fun? Increased demand for Solana exposure is a rising tide that can lift the entire ecosystem. Every fresh wave of institutional interest creates more products, more liquidity, and more eyeballs. So while the big funds are probably not degening on meme coins just yet, they're absolutely helping to legitimize Solana as the home for viral retail activity. So as these institutional products hit mainstream, they'll keep marketing Solana to global audiences. And the end result is more users, more capital, and way more attention landing right where new platforms and apps are launching. So it's as they say, where attention goes, money flows. Every ETF commercial, every partnership, every press release puts Solana in front of new retail and corporate eyes, which means more firepower flowing into the next breakout app or meme project. And here's where things get spicy. The technicals are supporting this rotation too. Another death cross and USDT dominance just printed. And each time that's happened in the past, we've seen explosive moves out of stables and into high beta altcoins, or basically it kicks off the altcoin bull run as we know it, because we know that USDT or stablecoins is the fuel. It's how people get into the crypto market. So that's why you have to keep an eye on these technicals. So with Solana's ecosystem in overdrive and new capital pouring in, this is exactly the kind of environment where the next breakout app can grab the spotlight. Enter Pump.Fun, a launch that's perfectly timed to capture all that fresh energy and attention. Pre-market trading for their token, Pump, opened at 5.1 billion fully diluted valuation, which is 25% higher than the 4 billion ICO price. Perps, or perpetuals, launched on Bybit and Hyperliquid before the token was even transferable, with 93 million in daily volume and 47 million open interest. This means price discovery is already happening on chain, and traders everywhere are fighting for position. And the token economics, in my view, have dramatically improved since we last analyzed the project. On day one, more than half of the supply will be circulating, and a full 60% of that supply was bought at the 4 billion FDV. Crucially, early investors and team allocations are locked up for a year, super important. And there's no risk of an instant dump from the usual suspects. Community allocations vest over 12 months. And there's speculation this will fuel on-chain incentives or prevent rapid airdrop dumping. So in plain English, this is about as fair as a high-profile token launch can get. The platform's revenue share is now fully public. 25% of all Pump.Fun's revenue is going to holders. And with the support from Kraken, KuCoin, BitGet, Bybit, Gate, and MXC, you get the first meme coin launchpad ICO with institutional-grade infrastructure. Elon, Pump.Fun's founder, I hope I said his name right, has been extremely direct about his vision. He said, the platform invented a completely new way to launch tokens. Agreed. Opened this crypto cycle. Also agreed. And has become one of the most successful startups ever. I guess I also agree. Although there are others, of course. Now we're aiming to kill legacy social media platforms, he said. Pump, or his token, will fuel our domination of crypto and social media. The goal is nothing less than building a viral creator-owned network where communities and traders can monetize instantly and actually own the upside instead of being throttled or buried by a Web2 algorithm. Now, I can see the cause, I can see, the intentions and all of that. But social media is really, really hard. We've seen multiple projects try to reinvent social media, so we'll have to see how that part plays out. I'd almost want to say he should just focus on what he's really good at, because in my experience, once you try to expand to something totally new, as social media is, it will deter for attention, resources, and that can get very hard, especially when he already has a winning formula. But to everyone their own, and good luck. And I mean it in the purest sense. Good luck to him and to the team. Anyway, as an investor, this is the kind of moment where you have to adapt. And it's true, in my last show, my take on Pump was highly skeptical. I was worried about the fee collapse, insider unlocks, and the lack of clarity on revenue and incentives. Plus, it's mainly been used to pump meme coins that have just extracted liquidity from the 99% of people who go invest in meme coins and think they're gonna win the lottery, right? So I don't like that inherently, but I can also see and agree that everyone should be entitled to play the lottery if they want to. That's also part of being part of, the free world and the free market. So as long as people are informed, to everyone their own and have fun. Anyway, the main issues I saw in my last video are now resolved, which is why I wanted to bring you this video. And the structure is much stronger than expected. So if you do have dispensable income, I'll always stress that, and you're open to gambling with your money, so to speak, and you're plugged in and you're watching everything and you watch my videos and you know what signals to be looking out for to protect yourself, and you're not gonna cry if you lose your money, then I would say, if you meet all these criteria that I just said, and you're able to secure a position anywhere near the $4 billion mark, I do see the potential for real upside for the breakout crypto app of the cycle that it's supposed to be. Still, price matters a lot. So whether you're getting in during the public sale or chasing pre-market, always size your bets for volatility and recognize that competition and copycats are already lining up. That's the way it works, right? The space moves fast and nothing is ever set in stone, guys. So as all this new capital, innovation, and energy crowds into Solana and token launches like Pump Fun, something even bigger is taking shape, is forming behind the scenes. The next cycle of crypto growth is already being set into motion by the convergence of finance, technology, and social media or social platforms. Coinbase actually just joined forces with Perplexity AI, which to me is amazing. I love AI. I binge on AI pretty much all the time on the side. And they're going to be streaming real-time market data directly to traders, which is going to be fantastic. I believe this bull run is going to be totally different than all past bull runs. They're fusing AI with on-chain analytics for the next generation of trading and research tools. So this is truly amazing. Armstrong is very clear. The future points towards permissionless digital economies powered by AI agents, crypto wallets, and live data. At the same time, even Trump's Truth Social is rumored to be launching a token for user engagement while applying for spot Bitcoin and blue chip ETFs. This convergence of social, finance, and AI lays the groundwork for entirely new kinds of wealth creation. So as we wrap up today's video, is Pump Fun ICO a scam, a bubble, or the next crypto fortune? The answer depends on how you position yourself, your risk profile as an investor, how fast you react, and all of the above. Whether you keep your eyes on the metrics as the cycle shifts, right? As you keep your eyes on the weather. We know Bitcoin hit new all-time highs. Institutions are snapping up assets at record pace. And Solana and altcoins are on the verge of another major rotation, all while crypto native projects like Pump Fun are going mainstream with real revenue and real infrastructure driving the next leg up or the next wave, the next pump. So if you're still here, you're ahead of the 99% of the world. These are the days when fortunes are made before the market takes off. You have to get in position before, not by following the herd, but by watching the right signals, the right channels like mine, staying flexible and acting when others freeze. You know that at my channel, here with me, I'll be tracking every single twist, all the data, all the major news, every launch, and every rotation. So I'm actually thinking of spinning up a Telegram channel just to share what I see going on in the market. So if you are interested in this, let me know. Leave a comment below, of course, with your entry plan, what you're holding, what your strategy is this bull run, and any questions you may have, because that may inform my next video. Anyway, guys, I love you guys very, very much. And remember that in crypto and in life in general, there's no finish line. It's all about the process. So let's ride this wave together, guys. I love you so much, and I'll catch you guys in my video tomorrow.